Perhaps you are considering it for the future? I know that the exact moment of your birth may seem like a random occurrence or a mere date on a calendar, but what if I told you that this day holds deeper significance, something that defines who you are and what you hope to accomplish in this world? If you believe what I am about to tell you in this video, it could alter your perspective on my life and the spiritual truths that I hold dear, truths that you may never have realized before, but which I will share with you today. The majority of us tend to focus on our own birth dates and how they relate to holidays and special occasions. However, what if I asked you about yours? Could it be that your date of conception was more closely aligned with God's plan? Jeremiah chapter VA verse P. God gives us unusual insight into His plans for our lives even before we were physically formed. He knew who we would be, where we would live, and what. It is not a coincidence that your date of birth is directly related to your mission in life. In fact, it is an integral part of the plan. Now consider this with me. If God knew the exact moment you were born, you would not be here. Similarly, your ability to learn, grow, and advance in your chosen field would be directly related to the date of your birth. Transformative changes in your life and the lives of those around you. If this idea piques your interest, I encourage you to watch the video all the way to the end. The lessons you learn about yourself will surprise you. I have met many people throughout my life who, like you, have felt a calling to do something greater. Some of these people have known, even from a young age, that there is something more to them than meets the eye. In his most famous parable, the lost sheep, from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 15, Jesus teaches us about God's love and care for all people. Through these stories, He helps us understand the value of each human life and the signs that point to greater things to come. Nothing about the day you were born is unimportant. But what if there were deeper spiritual significance to that day? What if God picked that exact day to set your goals and guide your paths? If you are curious about the significance of your birthday, why do not you keep looking? We are about to study something that could shed light on your identity and your motivations. You were chosen for specific missions and will see them through to completion. That is why it is important to recognize these divine clues in your life. One of the most powerful passages in the Bible is found in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 12, poem 7. It says, "Do not be afraid, there are a lot of sparrows in your flock." If you are worried about the amount of hair on your head, consider how significant your birth date is. Everything about the plan that God had in mind for you, from the moment you were conceived until the day you were born, was deliberate and predetermined. It was not a coincidence, rather, it was a divine choice. God not only knew what you would be like, but He also knew when you would be born. All of this reflects the great care and detail that God put into your development. Psalm 139 verse 16 is another verse that backs up this idea. It says, "Your eyes beheld my unformed body, and all the days appointed for me were recorded in your book before any of them arrived." It is worth thinking about how God planned your life from the day of your conception all the way up to the day you were born. How did anything happen that God recorded as your birth date? Many people disregard this spiritual truth, yet she may have totally embraced it. You have the power to alter your perspective, your life's trajectory, and the way you see the world. It is mind-boggling how many people go through life clueless about the purpose God has for them, but you have the power to change that. If you are watching this video, you have the chance to learn your birthday, the significance of that day, and how to celebrate it. This fundamental piece of the puzzle unlocks your divine aspirations, as the dates of your birth are often linked to pivotal events in sacred texts. For instance, if your birthday is March 3rd, you may be born into a period of deep spiritual connection and creative explosion. People born on this day often experience a strong inclination toward roles that involve healing and transformation, both emotionally and physically. You may have felt this creative energy within yourself, but you may not have known where it came from or how to put it to good use. Another example is July 7th, which is often associated with spiritual perfection and fullness in the Bible. the desire to seek truth and enlightenment is often associated with being born on this day in sacred scriptures. If you were born on this day, you may have felt a natural pull toward following this path and a desire to teach and guide others on their own spiritual journeys. These are just a few examples of the profound spiritual significance of dates of birth. In the Old Covenant, numbers and dates played a significant role in marking religious holidays and significant historical events. Even today, these associations hold true. The date of your birth is an integral part of God's great design and intentional plan. So, stop for a moment and reflect on this. Have you ever considered this? Insights into your identity and God's plan for your life from what you may have seen. As a result, many people gain a new perspective on their lives and begin to comprehend the significance of the dates on which they were born. This is more than just a celebration, it marks a turning point in their spiritual journeys. If you are interested in learning more about your life's purpose, then subscribe to our channel and watch the videos that will be released in the near future. Understanding yourself and the significance of your life's purpose can be life-altering. If you are interested in delving deeper into this topic, make sure to register and activate the bell to stay up to date on all the details. Do not forget to leave your date of birth in the comments section. This is not just a curiosity, it is a place where we can explore spiritual secrets and uncover how our lives are connected to a higher power. This is just the beginning of our journey together. Let us discover what God has planned for each of our lives, starting from the moment of our birth. Your birth date may hold spiritual secrets that are waiting to be revealed. This is not a coincidence or a mere marker. It could be the key to unlocking many more goals in your life. If you have come this far, what you are about to learn about spirituality and the significance of your birth date could dramatically alter your self-image. Perhaps you have always been aware of the things going on in your life, and now you are just hungry for a change. Perhaps you have been considering this possibility for a while. Why were you born at a specific time? What if I told you that this day was chosen by God to start a unique and special journey? In this video, we will delve into spiritual meaning and how these signs can lead us to our divine goals. So, let us start. Think about it, your birthday, the day you entered this world, is a part of this grand design, but what does it mean? The Jewish calendar is full of symbolism, and many of the most significant stories in the Holy Scriptures are directly related to specific moments in time. God used these dates to record important events, both spiritual and physical, and this remains true. An objective of yours. Here at the center of it all, we are doing research on the belief held by many scientists and spiritual leaders that certain birth dates are more than just a mark on the calendar. They hold spiritual potential energy that could guide the lives of those born on those days. If you ever wonder if your life has a purpose, pay close attention to this focus, and we will show you how. There are certain dates that can indicate a special role that you were chosen to play in God's plan. For instance, March 3rd is often associated with strong spiritual connections, creativity, and the ability to help and heal others. People born on this day often become spiritual leaders, artists, and healers who use their gifts to make a difference in people's lives. ASO and favoritism born on May 5th often live under special cover from God, and people born on May 5th often report events that seem to have been formed more strongly about moments when they felt God's hand directly guide their lives. If you were born on May 5th, you may have noticed something about your sensitivity to other people's feelings, your familiarity with Togo, or both. If you were born on July 7th, you are likely to have a very strong spiritual vocation. You may attract roles related to mentoring, training, or even spiritual leadership. If you are looking for a solution to a problem that seemed impossible, but suddenly cleared up in a wonderful way, that is a sign that God is leading you to special goals. There is a profound connection between your life and the divine. It is important to share this balanced and complete aspect with others. How can we decipher the spiritual significance of our dates of birth in light of sacred scriptures? The answer may lie within Jesus himself. In various passages from the New Testament, Jesus imparts profound spiritual truths through the use of numbers and dates. For instance, in the miracle of the multiplication of bread and fish, the numbers were crucial. The significance of our lives and the dates of our births can be understood by looking at the correlation between these spiritual truths and the events in the Bible. By understanding how these events were linked to specific times and numbers, we can gain valuable insight into our purpose in this world. So, why wait any longer? Let us dive into the vast world of spiritual significance, start researching our dates of birth, and see what revelations we uncover. But before we go, let us return to the sacred scriptures and consider what Luke has to say about it. 127 Jesus reminds us that every hair on our heads is numbered. This is a clear indication that God is involved in every detail of our lives. If God cares about the quantity of our hair, then imagine how carefully He planned our birth. God has given you specific goals and missions that you can only accomplish through yourself. This idea is further developed in Jeremiah 1 verse 5, where God says, "Before I formed you, I chose you in the womb. I chose how you were born." Bo already had a plan for your life, even before you were born. He knew exactly when you would give birth and why it was part of this great plan. If you could understand the significance of the days leading up to your birth, it could help you achieve His goals more clearly and decisively. But what does this mean for you? How can you uncover the spiritual meaning of your own birth? Pay attention to the signs around you. There must be a significant date in your life that is associated with profound personal growth, a turning point in your spiritual journey, or a significant life event that you have yet to fully comprehend. These are not mere coincidences, rather, they are signs that God wants you to be open and accepting of the unique purpose and potential that each day brings. Birth dates can have profound spiritual significance. If you keep running into the number 7, for instance, it could be a sign from God guiding you to a deeper understanding of His will for your life. It is important to pay attention to these signs and the opportunities God presents you with. If you are confused about the spiritual significance of your birthday, we are here to help. Keep watching our video to discover the meaning behind your birthday and how it relates to God's plan for your life. It is not just about numbers and dates, but about a deeper understanding of the divine plan. At the end of the video, I want you to reflect on something significant, how you feel on your birthday, what special things happen on this day, and how you feel more connected to His purpose. If you have not already, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel so you do not miss any of my upcoming videos. By doing so, you will be the first to know when I upload new content, and you will also be the first to know when my birthday is. Who knows, maybe this will help you understand what God is trying to teach you. Beginning on a dot, we are all here to discover your life's true purpose. We are on this journey together, and now it is time to start disclosing the details of that plan. Some dates of your birth have profound spiritual meaning. Those details could reveal divine missions or gifts. What you find here could be a missing piece of the puzzle, but if you do, it will explain why you feel like your life has a big target. Discover the answer within you, and I assure you that what you are about to discover will alter your perspective on your own existence in light of these principles. We have discussed the significance of being born into God's plan, but you may be wondering, what does my exact day of birth mean for my ultimate purpose? More importantly, how can I discern the indications that God has selected me for a unique purpose? In the Bible, we find examples of how specific dates, numbers, and periods of time are directly related to the divine plan. Today, I will show you how this applies to your life. Let us talk about dates of birth and how you can start to recognize signs of unusual missions. We briefly touched on March 3rd, which is a widely recognized date with deep spiritual meanings. People born on March 3rd tend to be extremely creative and spiritually connected. They have a natural inclination to seek meaning beyond material possessions, which can lead them to take on roles that involve healing and transformation. Spiritually and emotionally charged, If you were born on this day, you may have already come to terms with the fact that you have a unique gift for assisting others in overcoming emotional challenges. Alternatively, you may have a keen intuition that allows you to understand the needs of those around you, and if you have any idea what you should do with this gift, you should probably start taking action. If you were born on March 3rd, you were chosen by God to bring light, healing, and wisdom to this world. Now, let us talk about another significant date, July 7th, and how it relates to your spiritual journey. Many people born on this day become spiritual leaders, therapists, artists, or consultants who help others find balance and harmony in their lives. You may have experienced a profound pull towards studying sacred scriptures, philosophy, or spirituality if you were born on this day. Perhaps you feel a calling to teach or guide others on their spiritual journeys. This is more than just a coincidence. The number SE is a significant spiritual figure in the Bible, appearing multiple times to represent perfection, completion, and the descending divine plan. If you were born on July 7th, you have a unique gift for seeing beyond the visible realm and into the depths of spiritual truth. The biblical figure Solomon, who sought God's wisdom to edit a fair text, was similarly called upon to lead with insight and wisdom. People born on this day often have a similar calling and a gift for spiritual clarity. Permits individuals to embrace sage advice, which in turn has a positive impact on their lives and the lives of those around them. Now let us take a look at the complete meaning of May 5th, a day often linked to divine protection and grace. Those born on May 5th seem to live in a special light, experiencing life events at our place through divine intervention. Perhaps you have encountered situations where it seemed like things were not going to work out, but then something wonderful happened and everything was resolved. This might sound familiar to you, Togo. It is a sign that God is looking out for you. There is a common belief that being born on May 5th is a blessing, and many people believe that this is because it represents a particular example from the Bible, the story of Daniel, who was thrown into a ditch with Leo because of his faith, but who was miraculously protected by God. Those of us born on May 5th also tend to face significant challenges, but there is always a way to overcome them. If you were born on September 9th, you may have noticed that you often seek advice from others to help you navigate complex situations. This is not a coincidence, it is a result of God giving you a special gift, the ability to see clearly, solve problems effectively, and prepare for what is to come. September 9th is also a date closely associated with wisdom and the ability to accomplish great tasks. Those born on September 9th have a special relationship with the concepts of time and purpose. They have an innate sense of when to act and when to wait, and they are great leaders and advisors who can help others navigate life's ups and downs. The Bible confirms this idea in Ecclesiastes 33, "To everything that is your own time and any things under the sky." Transitional periods and, of course, December 25th, one of the most symbolic dates on the calendar, carry with it the meaning of light and hope. Those born on this day are often profoundly selfless, ready to serve others, and they bring feelings of peace and compassion. If you were born on this day, your life may be marked by kindness and desires to change the world for the better. Just as Jesus brought light to the world, you may be called upon to distribute. In the same way that being born on Christmas is a reminder of the importance of love, compassion, and hope in our modern world, my life's work has been to assist low-income people. I have always thought that my mission in life is to create good and to follow my vocation, which has allowed me to make a positive impact on thousands of lives. If you were born on this day, I encourage you to reflect on how you can use yours to spread light in a world that can sometimes feel so dark. It is natural to wonder what would happen if my birthday was not one of these occurrences, but that is no reason to be concerned. Every birthday has significance, and by paying attention to the signs that God sends your way, you can learn to interpret the messages that He has for you. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, now is the best time to do so because we have incredible insight into the connection between the date of your birth and the purpose God has for your life. Signs abound, including seemingly random occurrences, patterns in numbers, and opportunities that present themselves when you least expect them. It is hard to say for sure what God has in store for each of us based on our dates of birth, but maybe the spiritual revelations that follow will be devoted to your special day. Let us explore this together and see what God has in store for you. Please pay attention to this because it is one of the most glaring indications that you were chosen for a special purpose in God's plan. In all of the stories we read about, there are countless individuals who, at one point or another, felt differently than the people who had known from the start, even in their youngest years, what their lives were commemorating in standard societies. At first, this seemed like a burden, but now I see it as an opportunity. Those who chose divine missions at an early age often encounter challenges. For example, Joseph From his early years at Hayes, he had dreams that set him apart from his brothers. These dreams caused friction within his own family, which led to his enslavement. Despite his feelings of defeat, he persisted, and now we can learn from his story. The path we choose in life is not always easy. There are times of confusion, loneliness, and difficulty. However, it is precisely at these times that God shapes us, preparing us for something greater. Challenges that seemed insurmountable may actually be God's way of preparing you for greater things. Through trials and tribulations, you may grow in character and faith, and become more capable of achieving goals that surpass your wildest dreams. A divine manual for availability moments, such as when you have a strong intuition or an unexplainable feeling that something is wrong even when everything around you seems to be going in the right direction, or when you have incredible coincidences that do not seem to be the result of chance. These moments are signs from God that He is directing your life's path and the people you should follow. When Moses fled from Egypt, he probably thought his greatness had ended, but then he had a meeting with God in the burning bush. The revelations that came from this vision were divine and changed the music. Have you ever felt like you were protected in some way, or like someone helped you avoid certain dangers? In these moments, when God gives you glimpses of His care and protection, He shows you the path He has prepared for you and the people He wants you to follow. There is more than one sign to go, and what you choose is unique. Darova, spiritual gifts can take many forms. For example, you may be gifted with a unique talent for healing, a gift for teaching, or the unusual ability to understand and interpret sacred scripture. In the Bible, we see that certain people were given special gifts to help them carry out their divine roles. For instance, Solomon received wisdom as a gift from God, which enabled him to manage fairly and insightfully. Ilya, in his line of succession, was blessed by God to perform miracles, which were clear indications of God's strength. You may have observed if you are reading this, it is likely because you have a special gift, talent, or skill that seems to be something big. If so, you should pay attention because God not only chose you, but also gave you the ability to play the role He took away from someone else in His divine plan. However, just as with great gifts, big tests come with them. Those who are elected by God often face big tests in their lives. Just remember that Job, a righteous man blessed by God, went through a terrible test in which he lost everything: his wealth, his health, and his family. Despite this, his faith remained unwavering, and in the end, God rewarded and blessed him. So, if you are worried about going through a tough time, think about how God shapes and prepares you through punishment and testing. Just as gold must be refined through fire, so too must your faith be tried and strengthened before God can elevate you to accomplish the purposes He has planned from the beginning. One shining example of this is the Apostle Paul, who, after resisting the devil's relentless pursuit of him as a Christian, had a life-altering encounter with Jesus Christ on the road to Damascus. Paul, from that point on, became one of the most prominent Christian defenders, spreading the gospel across the Roman Empire. Despite facing arrest, beatings, and other hardships, he never once turned down a mission from God. These stories teach us that when God elects us, He also equips us to resist trials, even when those trials do not appear to have a divine purpose. Instead, they purify us and prepare us for greater things to come. Learn more about yourself, your strengths and areas for improvement, and the path God has for your life through prayer, meditation, and times of solitude and vitality. The Bible is a great resource for spiritual growth, as it contains stories of people who overcame adversity and achieved great success. Jesus, for example, spent a lot of time alone before he did his ministry. In the desert, for 40 days and 40 nights, Moses endured temptations before beginning his own service. During this time, he also spent a lot of time alone, which is not a punishment but rather a spiritual preparation. If you are worried about going through a similar experience, or if you feel lonely or misunderstood, know that this could be a part of God's plan. Stay tuned for more channel updates. There is a lot of time ahead of us, and if you do not want to miss out on any upcoming discoveries, leave a comment with your date of birth, experiences, and any divine or spiritual gifts you may have received, or even extreme tests. Do not ignore these signs, they are all leading you to something great. Let us keep on traveling together. Path of self-discovery and divine plan. Remember that you are not alone with God. He has a plan for your life, and together we can uncover it. What you have accomplished so far and the significance of your date of birth and the gifts He has given you to achieve your goals are topics we will cover. However, the most important question is how you can fully live out your vocation and achieve your divine goals. Your life is a blessing, but it also comes with a heavy responsibility to embrace your election. This does not happen overnight, rather, it is a process that demands faith, devotion, business acumen, and genuine desire to change. So, what are you waiting for? The moment you made your choice, consider it carefully. God has separated you for specific purposes, and you are the only one He can trust to carry them out. He has invested your life so that you may walk in His ways. Those who have been elected sometimes question their abilities and worry that they will not measure up to God's expectations. However, the truth is that God will never withhold His goals or the tools necessary to achieve them. Consider Maria, the daughter of Josemaria II, who had the opportunity to decline her election and claim that she was not prepared for such a monumental task, but instead responded with humility and faith. The Lord's slave, let us see what happens to me according to your word. Luke 1:38. Mary answered the call from the Lord even though she did not know what was ahead, because she believed God would lead her step by step. When you accept your vocation, it is a sign that you believe God will be by your side through every problem and solution. God does not wait for you to be perfect, rather, He waits for you to be ready, and then He will ask you what you want. No matter how clear the path may appear, it is essential to establish a daily routine of prayer and meditation. In these moments of quiet and connection with God, your mind and heart will be receptive to divine instructions. As you draw nearer to God, He will reveal the steps you should take, and Psalm 142 serves as a reminder of how important it is to begin each day by listening to the instructions God gives you regarding your stand. Every morning, I lift up my soul in prayer, asking God to show me the way. This practice not only strengthens my faith, but it also helps me concentrate on the goals He has for me. When I begin my day connected with God, my spiritual journey becomes clearer, and distractions like peace have less power over me. But there is another fundamental practice: being a part of a religious community. It is important to find a community that challenges your faith and supports you on your journey. Consider joining a prayer group or finding friends in a circle. These connections can have a profound impact on your growth. Consider the following: Jesus chose to follow His disciples individually, but they were never alone. They studied together, supported each other, and were there for each other when they doubted or had questions. It is hard to be alone when we are surrounded by supportive people. We grow stronger and more confident when we follow the paths that God has shown us. If you are not already a part of a religious community, I encourage you to seek one out. You can do this through studying the Bible, speaking with others online, or attending a local church. Whatever you do, make sure to value the connections you make. They will be important in keeping you on the right path. Once you have accepted your vocation, it is important to realize that problems will arise, but how you have dealt with them in the past. The people God chooses to work through His people often face the most difficult trials, and those trials will not go away anytime soon. That is why, when you embrace your calling, you become a formidable opponent to the forces that would prevent God's plan from coming to fruition. However, there are hidden obstacles along the way that will only serve to fortify you. Remembering Job's unwavering faith in the face of overwhelming odds has brought me closer to God. Job endured trials that threatened his health, his family, and his property, but he never lost sight of the end goal, God's reward for perseverance through adversity. Prepare yourself better for the goals that God has set for you and do not rush things. Instead, trust that He knows what is best for you and that He will reveal your next step when the time is right. The world around you may be changing, but your emotions and experiences may be stagnant. The time has come to fully live out the themes that God has planned for you. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, I highly recommend it. Our revelations and teachings will help you better understand God's plan. Bye for now, stay steady on the paths you have chosen and accept my target with all your heart. Do not be afraid of the upcoming tests. God has already given you everything you need. To stay up to date on what is happening in this spiritual journey, click the bell icon. Share what you have learned in the comments and let us continue down this road together. We are washing away secrets that God has not revealed to us, so let us remember to live out our calling with faith, determination, and love.